Okay, so good good day everyone. So our topic for today is about data resource management. So what is data? This is just a review kay it was already discussed sa last topics. So the data is a raw fact. It is not organized, and so to organize the data, it needs to be processed. So this is the hierarchy of data. So data is organized in layers. In computer profession, data is classified in a hierarchy. So each higher level of data consists of one or more items from the lower level. So the first level is character. Character is the smallest unit of data representation, just like single alphabetic like A, B, or numeric like 1 up to 9, or any numbers or symbol just like asterisk or underscore. The next level is field. Field is a group of related characters. It represents an attribute of some entity. So example is salary. The next level is record. Record is groupings of all the field used to describe the attribute of an entity. So example is the payroll record with name. Or another example is the information of a student. That's already a record. So, okay. The next level is file or table. It is a group of related records stored in the storage. And lastly, the database. It is an integrated collection of logical related data elements. So we will discuss what is database. Database is an integrated collection of logical related data. In other words, it is a collection of interrelated data. So what do you mean by interrelated? It means that there is relationship between concepts like an sila connection. For example, there is a CSU. Imagine nga nag face to face ta ang atong klase. So there are different concepts of information, like information concept of students, information concepts of your instructors, the the course, program or course, and the building, for example. So between those concepts, there is relationship, like nasa relationship. For example, the student can take courses, one or more courses. One or more subjects. So, and in one subject na ay 40 to 50 students. So mo na ilang relationship. Then the teacher can teach one or more courses, and in a course, ang isa ka kurso is taught by many teachers. So example sa IS 101 na isa ra man na siya ka subject. So naay duha ka instructor, si Sir Pac katug ako. So naay relationship ang concepts, ang mga concepts. So mo na siya ang interrelated, ang pasabot sa interrelated, or naay relationship. Naay relationship ang mga concepts. Database Management System, or DBMS. DBMS is a collection of programs that enables us to create and maintain a database. It is a general purpose software system that facilitates the process of defining, constructing, and manipulating database for various applications. So, for example, is MySQL. We will discuss the MySQL later. So, the database should be appropriately managed, and the way it is managed is by means of DBMS. or database management system. So manipulating, what do you mean by manipulating? It means that we are able to insert information into the database. In business, if you have new items nga baligya, you can manipulate the database by inserting information. So through database, you can also update the information like one of your items kay nagmahal ang presyo, for example. So ang t-shirt nga imong baligya is nag-increase siya og 50 pesos. So instead nga 150 ra ang nasa imong database, you need to change it. Imo siya i-change nga 200 kay nag-increase man ang kuan ang shipping fee ba ang nag-increase or unsa ba. So dapat na i-changes sa imong database. So that's how you manipulate the data. So and also you can also remove information kung kana siya is dili na siya necessary, kana siya nga items kay phase out na day na siya. So pwede ka mag-remove sa database. Database system. Database system, it is a combination of database and database management system. There are also structures of database: the hierarchical, network, relational, object-oriented, and multidimensional. So hierarchical structure, it was developed in 1960s and used in early mainframe DBMS. Hierarchical model structure data is organized into a tree-like structure. The relationship of this structure is one-to-many. So one-to-many means it only have one parent, so or we can call it root, and it has several children. For example, this is an example of hierarchical structure. Access data elements by moving progressively downward from the root along to the branches of the trees. For example, the department is the root or the parent of project A and project B, and the project A is the parent of employee 1 and employee 2. Next structure is the network structure. It is used in some mainframe DBMS packages. Each record have multiple parent and children records, so the relationship is many to many. Any data element can be related to any number to other data elements. For example, yes, this is an example of many to many relationship. The department A and department B are the parents, and they have children, which is employee 1, employee 2, and employee 3. Si employee 1 and 2 is parent nila ang A, and si employee 3 parent niya ang department B. The employee 1 in the left, in the left side, nagwork siya sa project A na sa ubos and project B. Ug ang project A below, diha nga project nagwork ang employee 1, si employee 2 ug si employee 3. So mao siya ang relationship nila is many to many. Next structure is the relational structure. Most widely used structure, data elements are viewed as being stored in tables. Row represents records. Column represents field. Can relate data in one file with data in another file if both files are common data elements. So in relational structure, all data is represented in terms of tuple grouped into relations. This is an example of relational structure. To connect or to give relations to the table to table, na a unique field, which is called nga gitawag nga key or unique. For example, ID number. Just like sa kanang sa inyong ID number, di ba naman may ID number, mo na siyang unique number para pag-trace sa system na ID number ang inyong ipakita, then ma-display na dayon tanan kung unsa ang mga information nga na-store sa inyo diri sa database sa CSU. So the department table have a department number as a key, and the employee table have employee number as its key also. And there is a foreign key to the table, to the employee table, which is the department number to link or to connect the two tables. So that's relational structure. Relational operations. There are three operations on relational database. So select, for example, select you create a subset of records that meet the stated criterion. For example, select the employees whose status is permanent. So the criteria is only imong i-display ang employees nga ang status niya is permanent only. So meaning dapat dili mo gawas ang employees nga mga job orders, mga lecturers, or mga contractual. Kay ang ipa-display raman niya is ang employees who are permanent. Join, combine two or more tables temporarily. It looks like one big data. And project, create a subset of column in a table. The next structure is the multi-dimensional structure, a variation of relational model. It uses multi-dimensional structure to organize the data. Data elements are viewed as being in cubes, popular for analytical database that supports OLAP or online analytical processing. So ang data cube, it allows the data to be modeled or viewed in multiple dimension. For example, okay, this is an example of multidimensional model. As you can see, there's a face in a cube nga na-list sa products like LCD monitor, camera, drive. The numbers inside the cube is the details kung pila ang nahalin sa product per month. Products like LCD monitor in the month of January, the data kung pila ang nahalin. Ang nahalin is 365. Napoy total nga nahalin sa taas, all products in January is 895. The upper face, na din na ang name, ang data sa customers, lahi po na siya nga face. So lahi po na nga face nga data ang nasa right, nasa likod. So that's multidimensional model. Object-oriented structure. Object consists of data values describing the attributes of an entity, operations that can be performed on the data. Encapsulation. It combines data and operations and inheritance. New objects can be created by replicated sum of all the characters of parent objects. So, object-oriented structure is it is the most popular programming paradigm that relies in concepts of classes and objects. So ma-discuss sila na sa inyo pag nanam sa higher years. So this is an example of object-oriented structure. The attributes of the bank account are customer, balance, and interest. So there are also operations, which is what to do, like deposit, withdraw, get honor. So kung makita niyo sa image, there is inheritance from the parent. The parent is the bank account object and its children which uh, ang children niya mao ang checking account and saving account object, which means parent extends behavior to their children. Creating a database, it takes a lot of design work ahead of time. So to create a successful project, there are rules that we have to follow. Number one, data planning. It develops a model of business processes, enterprise model of business processes with documentation. So in this stage, the database developer, kung nakasabot mo sa, dapat nakasabot siya sa flow or process sa isa ka organization para maka-create og plan. Then requirements specification, it defines information needs of end users in a business process. Description of users need may be represented in natural language or using the tools of a particular design methodology. So in this stage, the user of the database should provide all specific information para sa para sa mo develop sa database. Okay. Next is the conceptual design. It expresses all information requires on, in the form of high-level model. So a conceptual design, it is a concept data model identifies the highest level relationship between different entities. So, mo na siya ang one of the different phases that we are going to learn. Okay. Ang conceptual design, mao na siya ang, we are only looking for the overview, I mean the overall view. No information is shown sa concept design, no attribute, no primary keys that are specified. So, for example, anara. A conceptual design contains entities that describe the data and relationship between those entities. So, the features of conceptual design is na siya entity names and entity relationship. This is an example. Time, product, sales, store. So wala pa siya kung ano, walay sulod kung unsa ang nasa entity nga time, sa entity nga product, walay details nga gibutang. Next is logical design. It translates all conceptual models into the data model of a DBMS. So a logical design or a logical data model describes data as much as possible. So na siya details. So the features of logical designs are na mato na entity names, na relationship, na siya attributes, na siya keys. It's either primary key or foreign keys. So I am going to use the same entities na kung example sa conceptual design. As you can see, na specific details. In the table product, there are product ID, product description, category, and so on. In sales category, in sales entity, there are 3 keys that identified in relationship. Wait. Okay. So, na 3 ka keys sa table sa sales. Mao ang store ID, product ID, and date. So, ang store ID mao na siya ang mag-identify kung asa nga store nahalin ang item. Ang product ID dira ma-identify kung unsa nga product ang nahalin and also the date. Kung kanus and lastly, the physical design. So the feature of the physical design is na siya primary key, foreign key, table names, column names, and column data types. Physical design model represents how the model will be built in the database. So it shows all table structure including name, data type, constraints, and keys. So in the example, the actual length of each item is specified in the data types as an integer or string. So for example, the table product, okay, na ay product ID. So i-identify niya if it is an integer or not. So i-identify niya nga it is an integer. Integer means kanang mga numbers. So dili pwede nga kung integer ang imong gi-describe tapos pagsulod nimo sa data is letters, so mo error siya. Dili na siya ma-save sa database. So dili gyapon sa product. So naay nakabutang nga product description kanang prod underscore DESC. It stands for product description. So it has a length set which is 50. So if mula pa siya og 50 ang imong gibutang dinhaa, so possible nga magka-error siya. So mo no ang physical design nanang primary key, foreign key, table names, column names, and column data types. Narada yung summary. So sa conceptual, entity names and entity relationship. Sa logical, entity names, relationship, attribute, primary keys, foreign keys, and in physical, primary keys, foreign keys, table name, column names, and column data types. So types of database. Doon kay type ng database. Centralized database. The information or data is stored at a centralized location and the users from different location can access this data. So, naka-centralize lang ang data nila. Ang distributed database, it is opposite siya sa centralized because the database is distributed from the common database as well as the information captured by local computers also. Personal database, it is a data is collected and stored in personal computers which is small and easily manageable. So in personal database mo na siya ang gamit sa mga small groups lang ng mga organizations. End user database, this is a shared database which is specifically designed for the end users. Commercial database, these are the paid version of the huge databases designed uniquely for the users who wants to access the information. So, ang ganing commercial database kina na siya ibayad just to access the database, the data in the database. No SQL database. These are used for large sets of distributed data. Operational database are information related to operations of an enterprise is stored in the database. So sa operational database, real time ang pag-update sa database. Kay na din na ang mga operations sa business or whatever nga mga organization. So relational database, join two tables with common relations. Mm, so ang each table kay naman ay column which is ang attribute, ang rows which is ang tuple or record. So kung na relationship ang two tables, then it is called relational database. Cloud database build for such a virtualized environment, um, which means ang data it is stored in the cloud and can be accessed from the cloud. And lastly, the graph database are basically used in analyzing interconnections. It stores data in graph-like structures. Data warehouse. It stores data that has been extracted from the operational, external, and other databases. So it is a process of collecting and managing data from varied sources to provide meaningful business insights. So example, kung nagbuhat ka og essay, then imo siyang gisave as final, then after pila ka hours nakahuna-huna na pud kag lain ideas, so imo na pud siyang gisave as final, then the next pila na pud ka hours kinakahuna-huna na pud ka gisave na pud nimo siya as final, so maglibog ka kung aha din na ang imong aha din na ang ang updated nga imong gibuhat. So ang data warehouse mo na siya ang nag-collect ato tanan katong final o final nga imong gibuhat kay para iya tong i-transform, and the data warehouse will clean the data. So data has been cleaned, transformed, and cataloged. Data warehouse is used by managers and professionals for data mining. So data mining, we will discuss that in the next slide. Then OLAP, or online analytical processing. Data warehouse is also useful for managers because it helps in business analysis. So it helps the manager to identify the problems sa business, ilang i-analyze nganong if nabay profit na siya nga business ana nga place, or dili ba na siya mo income, or nganong kana siya nga item dili man na siya halinon, nganong kani siya nga item kay halinon man na siya. So ang data warehouse makatabang na siya sa pag-analyze. Then data warehouse is also useful in market research. It allows the company to discover the target market and makuha niya ang mga opinions from consumers kung unsa ang mga feedbacks, and another use sa data warehouse is ang decision support. So it helps the organization to analyze in decision making. Data mart is subset of warehouse for specific use of department. Next. Data mining. Data in data warehouse are analyzed to reveal hidden patterns and trends. So examples, perform market basket analysis and identify new business processes, find root causes to quality problems, cross-sell to existing customers, profile customers with more accuracy. So, muna siya ang data mining. So, example sa data mining is ang Jollibee. Sa una ang Jollibee is wala pay paris-paris nga mga meal, wala pay combo. Sa una is mag-order ka og rice, mag-order ka og lahi ang chicken, lahi ang lumpia, lahi ang ice cream, ang ilang kanang sa tawag na sundae. So karon na anay mga super meal nga kana na siya rice, chicken, fries, spaghetti, burger. So giunsa dai sa Jollibee ang combination. So nagamit na sila og data mining nga para ma-reveal ang patterns from the past years kung unsa ang mga orders sa mga tao. Traditional file processing. So the first towards storing and managing data is the traditional file processing. So it store data in independent files. Pero ang problem is the problem is na redundancy. One of the problem is ang replication sa data because it could create all kinds of issues. Data is not integrated across files kung naa na siya dili na siya wala na integrated integrity ang data if redundant siya. Data dependence storage had reference to format to format of data difficult na ang pag-maintain. Then lack of integrity or standardization. For example, naman di ba pag input ninyo sa system sa kanabitang mga information ninyo before pa mo makatake sa exam kay di ba naman may giansiran nga sa system. So naay mga students nga mga tarantar nga dili na mao ang ilang information or example wala sila middle name pero ilang gibutangan og none. So pagbasa na sa system nahimo na ang none nga dapat none wala nahimo na noon nga middle name niya. So pag generate na sa system nahimo nang iyang middle initial nga N. So mo na siya kinahanglan ipa-change sa students. So pag change na sa students ang mo-change na kay ang register man. So dili pwede nga i-change sa registrar ang file sa student tapos napoy file didto sa IT department nga wala gi-change ang iyang middle initial. So mao na siya ang problem sa traditional file processing kay ang iyang data wala na isa ang database. Ang traditional file processing is it also contains a lot of storage waste because of redundancy. So sayang kayo ang mga storage no. So this is the example. So sa katong giingon nga if ang student ang iyang middle initial kay dapat wala dai siya middle initial pero nabutangan og N. So naay duplicate kung naatay tulo ka department sa accounting nga example accounting office, registrar's office, information system department. So nana sila yung mga database kibali. So if wala na isa ang ilang database naay replicate sa data. So if dili ma-change gibali iyang ipatanggal niya ang middle initial niya tas ang nag-change ra isang registrar. So if dili na ma-change sa accounting nga database o sa information system nga database so nana siya wala na integrity ang data. So database approach. In database approach, everything will be stored in database and DBMS will foresee DBMS language to manipulate the database and one of these language is SQL or SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is an international standard query language. So ang SQL it is a certain built-in structure that allows to formulate your query in an effective way. So example of query is select asterisk from students where course is equal to information system. So, uh, sa imong query, you will only need to declare kung unsa imong gusto nga mugawas from the database, and the system will work it out for you. So imo ra gyud buhaton na is mag-query lang gid ka. Data interrogation. End users use DBMS by asking for information via query or a report generator. Query language, it retrieves data from database by sending queries. So mao to no katong example ganina. What can SQL do? SQL can create, it can create new database, new tables in database. It create stored procedures in database. It create views in database. And SQL can also retrieve data from database. It inserts records in the database, update records in the database, and you can also delete records. SQL can also execute queries against database. So another example of a query is select asterisk from customer. Select means you want to retrieve or you want to view. Uh, Asterisk means all. So yeah, uh, select asterisk means view all data from customers, from the table customers. So if ang table customer is na siya data nga 100 ka buok, so i-display gid na ni sa i-display pod na siya i-display na siya ang kanang 100 ka buok. So okay, database management. Database management allows a person to organize, store, and retrieve data from a computer. So why businesses needs database management? So because number one, it run business operations. Number two, organize and track customers, inventory, and employees. Third, ensure adequate query performance. Next, keep up a paperless consumer demand. So, no understandable kay siya. Then, store data in distinct type and automate processes. So, mao na siya ang nakamugaan ang trabaho sa isa ka business. So, kung naalang jud kay kung naalang joy database management sa isa ka business. So, sayon lang gid siya no. Dili na siya manual nga manumanuhon pa nimo, magmano-mano pa ka kung pilay na inabilin sa imong mga baligya. So, nanay makita na tanan sa system. So, ang last slide is ang database maintenance. Updating database to reflect new business transactions such as new sale done by transaction processing systems with the support of DBMS. Why need to maintain database? So, a well-maintained database will keep your business communications, products, and service relevant, valued, and timely. Um, so kung ang database di ay is old, inaccurate, tas wala na siya gi-maintain, na ay possible nga maapektuhan ang business. So bisan ka nang nagmahal na ang baligya wala gyapon siya na update. So posible malugi ang business kay. So you have to ensure that you have to update information and to maintain the database well. So that's all for data resource management.